Hello, comic book guys and gals, and welcome to Comic Mag Musings. This fella's your host, Bill Miller. I'm very excited today because we are doing another 5 speculation comic books that are under the radar, undervalued, and that you can pick up for ridiculously cheap. So let's go ahead and dig in and see what our 5 spec books are for today. First, we have We Stand on Guard, number 1. This is from 2015, and there are 6 issues in this series. In 100 years, there's a group of Canadian civilians who must defend their homeland from a U.S. invasion. So that's the story. We have art and cover by Steve Skroce, and the key to this is it's written by Brian K. Vaughan. So Brian K. Vaughan is one of the hottest writers today, right? Saga, Why the Last Man, Ex Machina, Paper Girls. He is about as money a writer as you can get. And this is another one of his creator-owned series. We Stand on Guard. This is number 1, usually for independents. I pick up the number 1 issue. That's generally one that will hold value or increase in value. There are a couple exceptions with really long-running series that tend to do exceptionally well in other media adaptations like Walking Dead or The Boys. You'll see some other issues that introduce key characters that will see an increase in value. But for the most part, a good bet is to pick up the number 1, the first issue of a series. And most indies are writer-driven, right? The story is what's being sold. That's what's going to be adapted into a movie or a cartoon or a television series. As good as the art is in some of these, it'll either be live action or they'll have different artists. So what they're keying on is the writing and the story. Not that the artists don't help tell the story, but for the most part, it's the writers that we're concentrating on. This is the A cover, by the way. $2 to $4 all day long for this one. Near mint. $2 to $4. We Stand on Guard, number 1. Now, all of these are from my personal collection. None of these I'm selling right now. I don't have an ulterior motive. I'm not trying to increase the price for my own personal gain. I just figured if there's something that you can pick up that's very, very low risk, that's very affordable, and it increases in value later on, why the heck not? Take a very small gamble, and it could pay off big. We have Criminal, number 1, and this is the second series. The second Criminal series. This is from 2008. There are 7 issues in the second series. This is by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. Sean Phillips being the artist, Ed Brubaker being the writer. And Brubaker signed a deal with Legendary Television Studios to develop his creator-owned properties. And this is a crime noir series that's set in the early 70s. Extremely good read, and one that I am certain, if any of his creator-owned properties end up getting developed into television shows or movies, I am certain that this will be a very strong candidate for that to happen. There are several series of Criminal, and so I could see it being made into a television show and pulling source material from all of this series. This can be purchased for $4 to $10 in high grade. Criminal #1 second series, $4 to $10. And I just think that I have a lot of indies because they're generally easier, right? You have a lot of television studios and movie producing companies that are looking for new content. And it's a lot easier to deal with one or two people, creators, that have a property. You can pay them a lot less money because most of the time when you option something, it doesn't work out, right? Things get optioned all the time. And generally what that means is when a property is optioned, that means that the creator or creators sign a contract, an exclusive contract with that production company, saying that they have the right to use that content for some other form of media for a specified period of generally a few years. During that time, no one else has the rights or the license to produce anything based on that content. If that production company can't get something going within that time, the option expires. And then those creators are able to option it again, either to that same company, if they were getting somewhere with it, or to somebody else who either will pay more money for the option rights or who the creators think has a better opportunity to see something come to fruition. All right, next we have Future State Wonder Woman #1. And this is the blank cover variant. Writing and art by Joelle Jones. This is from 2021. And I think there are 2 issues in the Future State Wonder Woman miniseries. This is the first full appearance of Yara Flor, the Brazilian Wonder Woman. She had a cameo in Dark Knight's Death Metal #7, and then a second cameo in Generations Shattered #1. But this is the first full appearance. The A and B covers are a little bit more expensive. This cover is still the first print, so I went with this one. You can get it for $10 in near mint condition. $10 for Future State Wonder Woman #1. And I just think there's a lot of upside to this character. A lot of upside. So Wonder Woman's became popular again, re-energized her popularity with the first Wonder Woman movie. And I think that they're making a broad appeal to different readers by introducing a different Wonder Woman character. And there's a lot of potential there. So Yara Flor, first full appearance, Future State Wonder Woman #1. All right, next we have Relay #1. This is from 2018. There are 5 issues in this series. Interior art and cover art by Andy Clark, written by Zach Thompson, Eric Brombert, and, you guessed it, Donny Cates. And Cates obviously is one of the hottest writers today. This work on Venom, God Country, Redneck. So this is a strong possibility, this is from Aftershock, that they come sniffing around looking for other properties that Donny Cates has worked on in order to adapt them into either a movie or a television show. This is a science fiction comic It's about cultural unification of newly discovered planets using a monolithic structure called the galactic relay. And about different people that fight against that cultural homogenization. Relay number 1, $2 to $4 for a near mint copy. $2 to $4, relay number 1. And this is the B cover. So for less than the price of a new comic book, you can get what will at the very least, in my opinion, be a good read. But something that I think has some legs to grow in value. All right, and lastly, we have Chew number 1. I know what you're saying. Bill, there's no way. Chew number 1 is super expensive. Ah, but this is Chew, CHU number 1. So this is an ongoing series. I believe it's had 9 issues thus far. Art and cover by Dan Boltwood. And this is written by John Layman. He's written for Detective Comics, Batman, and Chew, CHEW, that series. Saffron Chew is Tony Chew's sister, who can learn secrets from those with whom she eats. Tony is a cop, Saffron is a criminal. And so Chew, the original series, has already been optioned. It will get optioned again. And if it does ultimately get made into a TV show, Saffron Chew is a very popular character. She's in that series as well. I could certainly see this, her own magazine, Chew number 1, rising in price because of her popularity on the TV show. And if it becomes that popular, you could see a spin-off as well. But the other Chew number 1 is very expensive. Certainly not something that I would recommend taking a look at this point. But this Chew number 1, CHEU or CHU, is only $3 to $5 in near mint. $3 to $5. Chew, CHU number 1. And there is a second copy. And this is the A cover. So there you have it. We'll go through them again. We have Chew, CHU number 1. We have Relay number 1. Future State Wonder Woman number 1. That's the blank cover variant. Criminal second series number 1. And We Stand on Guard number 1. And that will do it for the speculation comic books that we have for today. I hope you enjoyed seeing them. And if you did, I would encourage you to subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way you're alerted as soon as I release new videos. Thumbs up and comments are always appreciated. And remember, we're taking over the world one comic book at a time.